All right, so Sound Community Solutions headquarters here with Jacob Rodriguez. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh well, um, I'm a husband. I'm a father. Uh, all around good guy. um, I grew up in Harrisburg, PA, in a highly drug populated area. Um, Seen a lot of tough times. Been through a lot of tough times. Um, and it took a certain point in my life to for me to realize uh, that I needed to turn my life around. And now I'm here, you know, doing the best that I can to help others in similar situations that I was in, um, as proof that there's a way out.
Yeah, one of the things at one they see on all of our literature at Sound Community Solutions is experts by experience.
Yes.
So, so we might some of us have degrees, but that's not a requirement, but the experience is.
I think I have bachelor's plus.
Okay. So tell us something about so that people understand what it means to you to mentor or to be a mentor, and how you believe that what qualifications you bring to the table where that's concerned.
Well, I love what I do. I love being a mentor. Not only am I helping others, but it actually helps me remember, that hey, what I'm dishing out, I have to follow as well. For instance, I just applied for a job, a part-time job. Holidays is coming, and you know, I get to that question where do you have any felonies and stuff in your background? And I'm like, you know, I'm like, yes. And then as soon as I said yes, it seemed like everything just went downhill. And I felt like I wasn't gonna get the job. I got real discouraged, and I'm like, hold on, man, what's wrong with you? You teach this, bro. I mean, you can't let this no be your last one.
Right.
You got to keep pushing,
Right. Right.
And I got the job. I start tomorrow.
All right, there you go.
But yeah, I love being able to help people um, in those areas in their life. I know, I'm young. I'm 38, but I've been through a lot. I've been homeless, sold drugs. I've been shot at. I've shot at people. I've I've lived the life, so I understand, and I think that's what really makes it a lot better for me to do what I do, um, because I understand where these people are coming from.
One of the things that you said, and we talked with a couple other people about this, um, being able to understand because you've been through something and because you've successfully re-entered society is an important issue. And it's a good thing that now you can actually give back by helping somebody else. Because at one time, if you had a criminal record, you couldn't go into the institutions. You couldn't talk to anybody. You couldn't help anyone to come along the same legally. You couldn't do it. And it's so good now that those who understand it the most and have successfully negotiated all these problems of re-entering society and have come back in and doing good, such as yourself, are actually able to give back by helping someone else across. And it's just a good day for everyone that's coming out that wants to do something and wants to turn their lives around. But I like what you said about being able to take your own advice. If you're helping somebody else and you're telling them stuff,
Yeah.
because you can't give somebody what you don't have,
Yep.
and so, one of the things too, Jake, when I first came here, you were one of the first people that I got to meet and everything, and you helped me out, and you said anything you need, and you just gave me whatever numbers I needed, and just searched stuff down for me, and I don't forget that. I really appreciate that, and I I know that you're a person that likes to help people and run here, do this, do that, and I want to ask you when you are trying to connect with someone, because for anybody who's coming into this, um, and looking to be a mentor or group facilitator or anything like this, what do you think is some of the most important things that they could focus on to really be able to help someone? Because, like they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So people want to help and do things, but everybody's not effective. So for someone who's really trying to do this, what kind of advice would you give that would be some of the primary things they want to focus on?
Well, John, for me, um, it's being honest, being open with the person that you're dealing with. You need to first build a relationship um, with your mentee, with anybody, period.
Mm-hmm.
And as you start building that relationship, they can open up more. Once a person feels like you're comfortable opening up to them,
Mm-hmm.
then they'll usually come around.
Right.
And they want to know more, or, well, how did you do this?
Right.
Or, oh man, that's great. I want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I came a long way. So I know the struggle. Mm-hmm. And I know how hard it is to open up to people at times. So, I just, hey, start off little. You let them know. I usually let them know about myself first. Mm-hmm. Where I came from. I've done time.
Right.
I didn't go to school for this. Mm-hmm.
Right.
I learned literally the hard way.
Right.
So I have the experience in order to communicate. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the most important parts.
And the thing is
being able to help.
Yeah, the authenticity and the credibility goes a long way. I know times when it's been quite a while for me now since I was out there doing whatever, and people would look at me and I'd try to counsel with them and all, and they said, "Well, you just don't understand." Yeah. And then that's when I'd have to tell the story. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, well let me cue you in on a few things, and then we can get that off the table and get back. It's just credibility when you've been there and you've come through, and and that being genuine does go a long way. I also now I'm sure that somebody's going to have this question. You have someone you're mentoring and they just are not opening up. You get the sense that they're not being open, they're not being truthful. They're not being honest. And you really want to help them. But you just know they're flying under the radar every time y'all get together. What do you have any way of dealing with that? Any specific way, or how would you go about that?
Well, I actually had someone like that. Where they were not comfortable talking about their case because of maybe how I may have looked at them. Mm-hmm. And I told him, I said, listen, no matter what it is, I'm here to help. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to help you from here on out.
Right.
But apparently, what he just had an illness, mm-hmm. if you know what I mean.
Right.
And he just didn't want to, he opened up a little bit, mm-hmm. but then he shut right down on me. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't want the program. And, I'm like, well, just give it a try. I mean, we can talk about something else, mm-hmm. but eventually we need to talk about, what happened in your life.
Right.
And then that's when I opened up to him about myself. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, wow, you've been through a lot. Mm-hmm. And then he started opening up a little bit.
Right.
More and more and more. Mm-hmm. And then eventually, he kind of shut down again. So I was like, well, I got him help somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And apparently he did good with the person that they matched him up with. Mm-hmm. He opened up a little bit more to them, and But it's tough when you get somebody like that because it's hard. It hurts because you really want to help this person, but they just
Yeah.
shut down on you.
That's an important point. Um, you can't help everyone like
Yeah.
you wish, and if you can help them to find the help that they
Mhm.
need, then you've done the best that you can do for them.
Yeah.
And I think that's important too. And also something that you said about uh, when you told them, "Hey, I'm not going to judge you or anything like
Mhm.
that." I think that's one of those places that many times we don't get to. It's like that old saying goes: people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
If you take all that off the table, remove as many barriers as you can to this relationship. And when you show them, I'm not judging. I just the part that you said that impressed me. You said, I just want to help you.
Yeah.
People need to hear that sometimes because they're not used to that. And so I appreciate that. For anybody who's listening to this, who's mentoring, they definitely need to think about taking as many obstacles as they can off the table to the relationship. I really appreciate the time you're spending with us, Jake. I just want to ask you one last thing, or I might be lying. I might have two, but at least one last thing. How is there any possibility of burnout? And I'm talking about for you as the mentor, because when you're working with people and you're working in social service, uh, I don't know about you, but I've been there. I've been there. I've done this for a long time in various capacities, and you can get to the place where you're at the end of your rope with it.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you could speak to about that?
Well, you gotta pray.
I didn't think of that one.
At times it does get hard. You just can't really let it affect you. Because some of these guys are really going through some real tough stuff. And you got this person that needs this person that needs that, and you're only one person. So you just gotta make a good schedule, keep ahead on the schedule, and stay on point. And everything should go smoothly. That's what I do. That's how I run my shit.
Yeah, that's important. Schedules help.
Yeah.
Because people can run you around, run you here, run you there, and you find yourself coming and going. Sometimes you got to set up appointments with people. Sometimes you got to tell people, hey, I can't do that now, but why don't we get together tomorrow around 2 or something like that because you need some space. Yeah. That's all good stuff. Well, Jake, I really appreciate this. Maybe we can do this again on some different things, but I think you're giving people a good sense of what it means to be a mentor and to be involved with your head and with your heart, and give people what they need in that way, in the circle, in the way that we're doing. So I really appreciate your time today.
I appreciate you, John.